All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another V2022 Builds Refreshes. Today, we're going to be talking about Trinity, who is a truly ancient Warframe. Truly very, very ancient, and has been incredible in the past. However, I don't think that Trinity really stacks up in terms of what the meta is today, and in terms of what you need to be doing in order to be a great support, which is mainly be Wisp, but she does still work very well, and there are definitely a lot of areas where she is useful and you can use her. If you need healing, she has healing. If you need just a really tanky frame that makes the rest of your team pretty tanky, she also does that, and she's good at it. She is very good at surviving and having some benefits for the squad, whether that be giving them energy or making them just have a good amount of DR and giving them heals if you, for whatever reason, need that. Usually, helping your team survive is just really not necessary, and it's better as a passive thing a Warframe does, as opposed to the active healing of what Trinity is doing. But it's still solid for what it is, and she does have a baiting link, which allows her to fully remove enemies' armor. So that's good. That's very good. Fully removing armor, it's super solid. That means, theoretically, you could use her for doing Cascade, and you could get rid of, the Thrax armor and such and make it pretty easy to kill those enemies. And that's all fine. But on this build in particular, probably wouldn't want it for Steel Path Cascade because you do need to build up Molt Augmented in order to get to the amount of strength necessary for a baiting link to fully remove armor, because this is unfortunately at a pretty low 45%. Really would be a lot more manageable at 50%, but it is what it is. With that, everything here is pretty normal. You want a lot of duration just because you just want to not have to cast your abilities absolutely constantly. This is going to give us a 22-second duration on our 4. And worth noting, if you form a for it, you can go with Umbral Intensify instead of Transient Fortitude, because you are still from the 44, and with Augur Secrets, with Molt Augmented, you'll still be at that 100% armor strip, so you can actually get about 30% duration back and have this be even more comfortable if you go for Umbral Intensify instead of Transient Fortitude. For me, I don't think that Trinity is worth that investment right now for me to slap an Umbral Forma in here or to change the polarity to a dash or any of that stuff. It's honestly just not worth it because Trinity doesn't really have a place where she's great right now. And also, I wouldn't suggest farming regular Trinity because it is a huge pain in the ass, and Trinity Prime is vaulted, so kind of a rough sell on playing Trinity at all when regular Wisp is very readily available and not hard to get, but it is what it is. In terms of being Trinity, we have 90% damage reduction coming from Adaptation, we have 75% damage reduction coming from Link, we have 75% damage reduction coming from Blessing, and that's going to make us basically impossible to kill. For our Subsume, I have Dispensary. I know this might seem a little redundant on Trinity, but the constant energy orbs are very, very helpful and mean that you don't really have to think about doing Energy Vampire on enemies, which is just much slower in most cases. Just slapping this down wherever is just generally very helpful, and Eevee is kind of slow at current, and it's just unfortunate. There's a bunch of other things that you can put on Trinity. She can absolutely run Gloom, for example, if you want to, but it's not really necessary because she's very survivable as it is. And yeah, she's kind of just hanging out, helping the team a little bit. You're never going to be sad to have her around, I don't think. She's just kind of there, not without any real particular niche that she excels in at current, and she is kind of high maintenance for the survivability that she gives out. But yeah, good weapons and not being able to die will take you far even still. Just spawning these enemies in, slap on the 3, slap on the 4, and then just go to town with whatever you want to do. You want to throw a glaive? Throw a glaive. You want to shoot a gun? Shoot a gun. Literally whatever you want to do, enemies are going to be hard-pressed to kill you. These enemies do more damage than even the beginning of Steel Path enemies will until they're up to a similar level. And yeah. Not dying is the first step to killing all of the enemies, and Trinity does do that quite well. And also can slap down some dispensaries and such, or whatever other helmet ability you want to put on her, as she's got pretty good stats all over, or whatever helmet you want to toss in. And of course, her ability to generate energy usually can support most playstyles. But yeah, that's what's up with Trinity. The Steel Path run is basically what we just did, just longer, and she's very hard to kill. Woohoo! But yeah, that's Trinity. She's just hanging out and wishing that her one was a different, much better ability she could use for something besides healing someone. Enjoy the Steel Path run, and I'll see you tomorrow. Time to quote-unquote use Trinity. Oh, sorry, thank you for the 100 bits. There should be enough time on that we can do that afterward for the Titania video. Yeah, use Trinity, quote unquote. More like use a good gun and be like use the survivability of Trinity. Just be worse, Neja.
Scans show Grenier are harvesting Kuva nearby. Set off the alarms to draw them out, then steal their Kuva catalysts. Predictable. As expected, Grenier have shut down the environmental systems, sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach Kuva catalysts to begin harvesting.
Wow. Damage reduction, go burr. If I ever actually get hurt, I'll hit my 4 again. Bum, 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 bum. Well, somebody was asking if the Phantasm was good. It is. And eventually my 3 will be a full armor strip whenever I've killed 250 dudes. Which probably won't actually like matter or really come up, but like whatever.
Life support on the way.
Just dropping Protea's ability to try and be some semblance of a better support. It's kind of sad that like Trinity's 2 is like usually not as good as just dropping Protea's 3. Like the Warframe meta has changed in such a drastic way where like the giant like boofs of energy from Trinity are not as good as just consistent energy orbs on the ground.
We Aaron always collect our debts.
Oh, it's a bunch of fucking Guardian Xmas and shit. Then I have damage reduction for 100 quadrillion years. Yeah, damage reduction go burr, damage reduction applied to allies. Like, she's definitely not a bad frame to just, like, have around. Like, if I see a Trinity join a squad, I'm like, oh, hey, it's Trinity. That'll be nice. But, like, playing as her is, like... Man, I actually don't even know, like, if they had kept her, like, 3 build that was, like, a DPS build for her. Like, if that was still in the game, I actually don't know if people would really use that. Like, maybe? Which is such a weird thing, because, like, at the time, people were talking about it as, like, that might be a thing that's, like, an S-class, like, in terms of how good it is. But we're in just such a different time now. Why is that not stripping full armor? It should be. Oh, wait, right. Isn't Trinity's... Doesn't she have the same problem Oberon does? Or for whatever reason, it doesn't do it on Steel Path. You mean suck? Yeah, she shares that issue. Yeah, well. Oh, man. God. That's so bad. What's the issue? Even though right now my ability... Here, I can actually just look. We'll just show. So I can pause. Oh, wait, no, it's at 96? That can't be right. 155 plus 60. Oh, no, right, I need 210. Okay, maybe that's not right then. I would need to switch to Augur. But I could Matter Eye for it. Yeah, we can do a test. We'll do a test while we're running this. Why not? Oh yeah, it does still have that problem though. Yeah, because like if I look at it now. Wait, what? Am I not on Matter? What am I on? Am I on an Ira or some shit? Oh no, I'm on Zeneric. Okay, no, we got the strength from that though. We can use that. That'll be enough. I apparently did not switch this build over to Matter Eye like I definitely should have.
When you are ready,
Okay.
go to extraction.
Okay, 105. Oh, no, it does completely strip. Okay, no. Okay, good. Good. No, it is not a shitty armor strip, thank God. Alright, honestly, like, the run is not going to change at all. So this might just still be the run that's, like, on the, the builds video, but I probably am going to switch to a very slight increase in strength. Because the difference between 96% and 100% is actually pretty meaningful. And although, like, I guess, like, the strip doesn't usually matter, but, you still want it. Like, if you're going to be Trinity at all, you might as well have the damn armor strip. Yeah, haha, Glagober. You can do when you're Trin, so why not? The very might as well. Though obviously in most situations like this one, where I'm using the Phantasma, it's very much not needed. But you could use it in stuff like Cascade if you wanted to. Well, that seems like it'd be a little spammy, but When you want ability to tie your kit together. I mean, realistically, I don't know. Like, you could rework her too, because it just kind of doesn't suit like what the game is now. But people are very attached to her too from like the olden days whenever it mattered. Like, her 1 is like definitely terrible. But her 2 is like really not doing anything at this point, right? Like, it's percentage damage. Like, maybe if that affected more enemies or something, like something. Just a boring gun platform. Well, she's a gun platform that doesn't have as many advantages as a lot of other gun platforms like Wukong or Nezha. But like Wukong and Nezha at least get fast. Like, I mean, she's got the armor strip. Like, that's something. Yeah, Goss as well. I mean, like, the thing that Trinity can bring to a squad is mostly being a babysitter. Like, if you're playing with some people who are new players, Like giving them 75% DR and being able to heal them like no matter what, basically, is like pretty good. I'm not sure if you can also throw in Nairu. Well, you want to be on Madurai if you're like on Cascade. At least for the Steel Path, anyway. This is a gun platform that doesn't really make gun work better, except gun doesn't really need that. Well, as long as you use the right guns, of course. Yeah, use good gun, drop energy for teammates, use 4, heal teammates, don't die. Many damage reduction was had. Like, that's pretty much what's up. I do remember Infinite Range Trinity 4. Honestly, I think we could definitely go back to Infinite Range Trinity 4. That would at least be something, right? Is there any point at all to her 1 and 2? I mean, her 2 theoretically could have a point at some time in the future. But her 1 is, like, actively useless outside of some, like, niche things you could theoretically do with Avara, but, like, you probably shouldn't. And that's, like, a subsume. It's not even for her. Right? That man is dead.
The more successful we will be.
Range back when it was full invincibility instead of damage reduction. Well, it was never full invincibility. It was 99% Trinity at one point, which is functionally invincibility. I took my Phantasm. Yeah, Mania go, I got Glaive Prime, don't know. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna change the build very slightly from what I'm running here to just be like very slightly more strength. I'll probably just drop like Constitution, which will make essentially no difference whatsoever to her survivability. Just make me hit 4 very slightly more than I do, and like energy is not a problem because of my 1 being Proteas. So like, yeah, very slightly different. But I will probably just like put this run on the builds video because it's like, this is what you're going to be doing as Trinity. It'll just be very slightly better with the 100% armor strip.
It is done, Tenno.
Yeah, it really do be like that to be a Trinity.